as the father, I'm working on programming that subconscious mind. And so there's times where I have to be present for her in the physical and be there for her, but I know that I'm actually talking to her subconscious mind. So then I have to be a little bit more direct and firm, because I understand that the conscious mind is not what's going to dictate the future responses to this. And so there's times where I'm just like, fuck, this is so hard, because all you want to do is just like spoil the shit out of them,
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
that's not going to raise a productive member of society. So like balancing that, I think, has been the trickiest part of like, woof, like right now she's got a lot of stuff. Like everybody sends her stuff, like Gaga, and she's got a couple grandmas, and everybody sends her stuff. And I'm like, look, we got too much clothes. We need to go through some stuff, and a lot of parents, and the same with toys. We're going to do the same thing with toys here soon. And I need to get rid of some things that I don't need anymore. And so I let her see me get rid of things first. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get rid of things that I don't need and that I don't use, because they're not serving us anymore. They're taking up space. Let's get rid of it and let's make room for the new, right? Because that's how the universe works. And I didn't want to just go into the room and get rid of her clothes and get rid of her things, because one, my daughter's literally a genius and she remembers things from years ago. So she'll remember that toy's not there anymore, that we got rid of the toy, we got rid of the t-shirt. She'll ask me where it is. And then what am I going to be like? Oh, I got rid of it because you weren't playing with it. Like, how violating is that though to the child, right? Like, you're the person that the child's supposed to be able to trust, and you're throwing away their intimate toys. Like, that's not fucking okay.
Yeah.
And nobody, yeah, and nobody thinks about that, but that's how we were all raised. We're just going to get rid of the toys when you're at school because it's easier. But it showed me now to be able to have more patience, because last night we sat down and I'm like, okay, baby girl, we're going to go through just these 3 shelves and we're going to go through these clothes. And so then I was like, I want to keep that. 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 And I'm like, okay, baby girl, but we need to start getting rid of some things. You see how there's a stack of t-shirts this big and a stack of tank tops this big. You have so much clothes, I wouldn't have to do laundry for 2 weeks. Like, let's start to get rid of some. She's like, okay. So she got rid of like 2 or 3. I'm like, cool. And then there was like another pile, and I'm like, all right, here's 2. And they were both old, so I knew that like I could do this with them. I'm like, we can keep 1, And so then she'd get rid of 1. Then I'd put another one in, like, we can keep 1. She'd get rid of 1. And then she started getting to the point where she's like, just thumbs it, get rid of it. But it was cool to see her like start to develop that non-attachment to the things, because I'm like, baby girl, we can get more, and then she like went through and was changing all of her underwear, making sure they fit, throwing away the ones that didn't. Like, she was getting the thing, and I'm like, all right, cool, she's starting to learn. Like, we don't just keep things to keep them. When we don't use them anymore, then it was cool, because this morning she's been doing this thing where she takes like a bowl of water and she draws on with her markers on the paper towel, and then puts it in the water, and it bleeds into the water and it makes the water colorful, and then she like feeds it to her baby dolls or whatever, and gets the whole floor soaking wet with water, and it's awesome. And whatever. And but the markers are starting to run out of ink, because she's coloring entire sheets of paper towels with it. And this morning she came up to me and was like, Dad, whatever's out of ink, and I need new markers or something like that. And I knew we had other markers in another drawer. And I was like, well, first of all, did you throw away the markers that don't work anymore? She's like, yep. I'm like, fuck yeah, there we go. Then bottom drawer on the left, there's more markers. You can go ahead and grab those. But that's what I want. I don't want her to be like, oh, the markers are up, but I have an emotional attachment to the markers. It's a fucking thing. And I think there's a lot of kids like that now, because we bombard them with stuff, and then we wonder why we create a culture that only wants more stuff.
Yeah.